this pile is all t-shirts. These are going to be cut at 1 inch. Then I'll stretch them. So a little bit different process. Most of them will get stretched except for this one is a dress shirt. I'll still cut it at 1 inch. It'll be about the same size when I put it in the rug because that one won't stretch out, where the t-shirts are thicker, but at 1 inch they'll thin out when I stretch out that extra elasticity in it. So these, they look like t-shirts. Actually, I thought these two were at first, but they got that ribbed texture in them, so they're like a tank top. So let me see if I can show a little bit. So it's got a ribbed texture. When I do these, they don't curl in like a t-shirt. They will thin out, but I'll still do these at 1 inch. I like the variety of textures in my rugs, so I definitely will have that little, it'll fuzz out a little bit, but not too bad at the edges or ruffle up. So I do like that. So that's all of these are the ribbed ones. This one, and I just put this one in here more of for a different style. So it's a knit. It's a knit sweater. So you can look at that. Button up. Well, 3/4 button up. So I'll cut this at 1 inch. And it'll stretch out, and I've had most of these, 99% of these, work out pretty good. So I like that a little extra. It's not wool. If it was wool, I have another stash for that, for the loom I'll set up with the wool and cashmeres that I get sweaters with holes in it. So everything so far is going to be at 1 inch. Now this one, little kids hoodie, pull up, pull over. These are always thick. This one I'm going to cut at 1/2 inch. They don't stretch at all, but you get a lot out of these with a 1/2 inch. I don't use this part just because it doesn't pack in very well with that thick paint on there. Same with the t-shirts. I think one of them, this yellow one that I put in there for a little pop of color, has a pattern on the front of it. It's small. I won't use that part. If it was a very thin paint, then I would, but these are pretty thick. So I'll get quite a bit out of here. This one I put in there because I'm just curious. I'm going to see how this one looks. Will be the first one I cut up. It's a very thick knit, and I've never used this, so we're going to see how it cuts. It's definitely going to stretch. I just want to see. I'll do a sample one at 1 inch and see how much it stretches out and if it holds together. I heard a lot of people using the thick sweaters and the thick knits, so I'm curious. I know they work in rugs, but I want to see how they hold up. So I won't use all of it. There's green and white on it. I just want the blue for this rug. So let's start. I'm going to start with this one. Then I'll do my 1/2 inch on these, and then the rest will be 1 inch. Have them all cut up, except for the t-shirts that I was able to stretch, and this can either go in a ball, but I'll figure out what length I want on these, so then I'll trim these down. So there's a few. The ones that are stretched, this one, Underneath this, these are the scraps. That one I'll have to quick cut down. That won't take, I'll wind it around a stick and then cut them. So now it's time to sew these together. Very easy. And then I do some trimming, so I'll do a video on that real quick. Do the fast motion. So when I sew these together, say this is the continued strip that I already am working on. I'll take the new strip, put it over this one, and I'll sew from this corner to that corner. This will end up getting trimmed off, so this will fold over, and you have, some people call it t-shirt yarn if you continue, but then I wind it on and we'll make these cakes. Alright, so I have the first round sewed together, so that means one of every color, and I'll continue the pattern. This was that textured t-shirt, that light blue one, so when you pull it, it rolled together. I already snipped one, it has a few tails, but those will tuck in. Here's a purple t-shirt, and then a jersey one. So this is what it looks like when they're sewn together. So I have this strip, put this one on top, sewn from that corner to that corner. And when I cut them, I just cut close to that seam. And sometimes they pull apart, but mostly they don't. And I'm right here at the sewing machine when I do it. So these are some of those ribbed shirts. I said the jersey kind of roll together, make a tube, and then that's the difference. They're both cut at 1 inch, but they'll pack in very similar to, so if I twist this, they'll go in very similar. So, and I'm not going to cut all these apart yet, so these are all the ribbed ones. So some ribbed ones stretch out a lot, like this one. You can really see it. And that one stayed a little thicker. Now we have some t-shirts. Here's that cool striped one. I was able to cut it the way I wanted to because it stretched both ways, and not many shirts do that. So now no matter what, I will have some of this color and some black. If I did it the other way, my luck, the black would have rolled out. And I can get tons of black shirts. Black and white are the most common. So now let's see, here's that one that was multicolor. It actually didn't roll in like a t-shirt. It's actually more of a ribbed. I didn't realize that. So if I play my cards right and fold it, then I'll have some color instead of just a white stripe. Here is the purple dress shirt. So cut it at 1 inch. When it packs down, it'll be very similar in the thickness. Very easy. We have another t-shirt. Here's that thin sweater, that purple one. You'd think it would get all fuzzy and frilly, but it didn't. So, and it rolled right in when I stretch it. There was some ribbed part with that, but mostly it was like this. So, another ribbed purple shirt that was similar to another one. Quite a few ribbed ones in there. I think a few of those t-shirts I thought were just plain jersey ones like this were ribbed. So here's that yellow. And I'm looking for, here is that blue thick sweater. Actually turned out pretty good. So it lost a little bit of fuzz, but now all this is attached and it's going to stay there. And when that goes into the rug, you'll have a little bit of texture hanging out. So I do definitely do like that. And then here is my daughter's purple sweater. So what I did, let's see if I can cut this apart so you can see a little better. When you have these two different sizes, I just fold this one in half, put that one on, and still sew from corner to corner even though that's folded in half instead of being the full inch. And then they sew together just fine. So then I'll cut that down. And then this will go through my winder just fine. So you'll see that again here, this t-shirt, when they roll together, I will lay them flat to sew with each other, so this way the longer the distance, the better the fold I'll have. So then you can see that this is skinny for a 1/2 inch. This 1 inch one I just folded in half. Get it all here. So then they're about the same. So when I come down to the end of it, it's just rolled open. For the next one, that's actually 1 inch on 1 inch. Very easy. And then they'll go through my little winder and all my shuttles and be very even. It's been a little over an hour and I have a lot of it sewn. I did 10 rounds throughout the box, so each color should be in here 10 times. So right now I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to go through and I'm going to snip them apart and put them on the cake winder right there and see how much 10 rounds does. So it's all tied off now. Or not tied off, but the hem is on there, so I'll just have to cut it off, but can't do that quite yet. Being a continuous warp, we only cut them off when we fill the bottom, so this will be the 3rd rug on here. But you can see the different materials in here. They're packed in nice. You can see a little bit of texture from the different materials. That was one of those ribbed shirts, and then you can see a t-shirt lays in there very smooth. Got a little pattern here from that striped shirt. I'm pretty sure that was that thick sweater, so I really do like those. So it filled 5 shuttles, and on those 5 shuttles I measured, it's about 9 inches I got per shuttle. So this will be about 45 inches. It's going to shrink down, so it'll probably be about 42 inches. I think when it comes off the loom. So I won't have a video of that because it'll be a while before it comes off, so we'll start the next one. But there it is. Very even edges here. Tension's off the loom now that it's the end of the day. So let's see if we can get the completed rug, and we were able to make 4 more cakes. The ones on the right, it's a stack of 2. That will be the same pattern as the rug that it's sitting on. And the 2 on the left, I ran out of some colors, so I just kind of rearranged the box and was able to keep the stripe and yellow, but it was more darker purples because I ran out of those pinky colors. The box right there, that's all that's left. Now that back box was packed full, so that's everything that's left. That'll go in another box because why waste it? And that'll go into a scrappy one. I'll call it my chicken scratch box. And then these are all the corners, so there's a few more. But what we do is we put it on, let's see if I can get in a little closer and you can see it. Needle and thread here, and we make a garland. And then we'll use that for Christmas, hopefully. So now the rug, it was 48 inches. So one of these cakes, the top one on the left here, is a little smaller, but that should make a 40-inch rug. So we'll get a full 5 rugs, sorry, out of that one box. So a lot of cutting, but it was worth it, and that's a gorgeous rug. If you have any questions, let me know.